right, welcome back. Welcome back to Math is Easy Step by Step. We are adding scientific notation. I have a few problems here that you could stop and pause the video, practice, and let's see how you do with your answers. I will return shortly with the correct answers. So here we have coefficient of 7.12 times 10 to the third power plus 1.01 times 10 to the third power. The next problem, we have 5.31 coefficient times 10 to the 11th power plus 4.11 coefficient times 10 to the 11th power. Stop, pause, and work on these two problems. All right, we have problem number 3. We have 7.12 coefficient times 10 to the second power plus 1.01 coefficient times 10 to the second power. I have one more, problem 4. You can pause and practice. And example problem number 4, where you can pause and practice. We have coefficient of 3.0 times 10 to the fourth power plus coefficient 1.11 times 10 to the second power. I'll be right back to go over each of these problems and how to find the correct solution. All right, here we got the first problem with the pause and practice. You can see we've got coefficient 7.12 times 10 to the third power plus 1.01 times 10 to the third power. Base is the same, exponent's the same, stack and add. You stack them up with the decimals lined up. 2 plus 1 is 3, 1 plus 0 is 1, lining up your decimal in your answer, and 7 plus 1 is 8. Now we just bring that coefficient over. 8.13 times 10 to the third power is your answer. All right, we got the pause and practice example number 2. Coefficient 5.31 times 10 to the 11th power plus coefficient 4.11 times 10 to the 11th power. The base is the same, exponent's the same. I'm going to stack these two values with the decimals lined up and add the digits. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. Lining up the decimals in our answer when we add and subtract. And then 5 plus 4 is 9. Quick question, I didn't ask you this. Is this a number between 1.0 and 9.99? Yes, it is. So it fits the criteria. This is going to be your answer, 9.42 times 10 to the 11th power. It's very important. You want to make sure you ask yourself, does this fit that rule? A number between 1.0, coefficient between 1.0 and 9.99. And if it doesn't, well, you're going to have to manipulate that decimal in your final answer. All right, here's the pause and practice third problem. We have coefficient 7.12 times 10 to the second power plus 1.01 times 10 to the second power. The base is the same, exponent's the same. We're going to stack those coefficients, lining up those decimals, and add. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 plus 0 is 1. Keeping that decimal lined up in our answer. And 7 plus 1 is 8. So we have 8.13. I'm showing you here. Times 10 to the second power. Is this number 8.13 between 1.1 and 9.9? Yes, it is. This is your correct answer. Stick around. That last one, example number 4, and pause and practice, could be a little tricky. Okay, here's practice problem number 4 with the pause and practice. We had 3.0 coefficient times 10 to the fourth power plus 1.11 coefficient times 10 to the second power. Now the base of 10 is the same, but the exponents are different. You need to make a decision. Either you manipulated the decimal in coefficient 3.0 or you manipulated the decimal in coefficient 1.11. The rules are in part 4 video. I went over scientific notation, converting scientific notation into standard form. So which did you choose? So as you can see here, I chose to manipulate the coefficient 1.11. And by moving the decimal 2 places to the left, like you see here, I was able to add 2 exponential values to the original power of 2, which gave me 10 to the 4th power. My new coefficient was 0.0111, which you see right here, 0.0111. Since both of these coefficients have a power base of 10 and a power exponential power of 4, now you can stack and add. So that's just what I've done. I've placed 3.0 with a couple placeholders, 3 placeholders of 0, over, lining up my decimal, the 0.0111. I've added them together. Anything plus 0 is itself, keeping the decimals lined up. Of course, 3 plus 0 is 3. My new coefficient after adding is 3.01111 times 10 to the 4th power. That's my answer, but you gotta, before you can claim this is your answer, you have to ask the question. Is this a number between 1.0 and 9.99? Yes, it is. Now, I do want to point out, since the value to the right of the 0 is less than 5, you're not going to be able to round up that 0. So technically, you could say 3.0 times 10 to the 4th. You could say 3.01 times 10 to the 4th. Or you could write the whole coefficient, 3.0111 times 10 to the 4th. Every one of those values would be a correct answer. It just determines how detailed you want to be in your answer. Hey, thanks for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step. Please like, follow, share, subscribe. Stick around. In the next segment, I'm going to go over finding the difference using scientific notation, which is subtraction. Thank you for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step.